live. All righty. And my microphone's working tonight. All right. All right. You are looking live at Sold Out MetLife Stadium, where today the 16-0 and playoff bound New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Washington Commanders. And why are the Washington Commanders 0-16? Because they suck. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there, if there's anybody out there at all that's going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Or if anybody's going to spend any time watching the replay of this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight, shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free, fire away, throw in the chat box. Usually check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes or so. So if I see anything in there, I try to respond to as fast as I can. Plus, sometimes it's just, instead of rambling on for 30 minutes or so, it's nice to talk to another Giant fan. So please feel free, fire away, right? Throw it in the chat box. Before I get started, if anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box below is a top link in the description box below. It takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. First one's called the Saquon. Second one's called the Lawrence Taylor. And the third membership level is called the Gridiron. Each one's got their own little perks to them, okay? So if you want to help support my channel out, it would help me out immensely. And I thank you so much in advance. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. As I said, I could use all the support I can get. If you're not, please go down below. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon. That way, next time I go live or put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge, right? What do you got to lose, right? But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you, thank you, thank you. It really, really helps me out. I can use all the support I can get. And then finally, okay, in the description box below, okay, there's 2 Facebook links. Okay, let's see. The top one takes you to Facebook. It's a group. Okay, it's called the New York Giants. It's a Gridiron. New York Giants, the Gridiron, but it's a group. Okay, basically, I say this in every video. My YouTube channel, my Facebook group, my Facebook page, which I'm going to go over in a minute, all it's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. I said, and I keep saying it's that way. Even a moron like me, I can remember. I don't have to. What's the YouTube channel? Is my page called something different than the? It's all called the same thing. Okay, what do we got? We have over 3,200 members in the group. Okay, it's 7 days a week, right? After I get done shooting this video here or going live, I'm going to spend probably at least the next 2 hours or so putting stuff up in the group and in the page. Okay, as I said once again, which I'm going to go over in a minute. But with the not only do I put stuff in here, but the members put stuff in here as well. So I try to get like up to like at least if I can. Sometimes it's a little difficult in the off season, but up to 10 different things in here every day. Whether it's a post, a picture, video, and something making fun of the Eagles or the Cowboys. Those are my personal favorites, right? Right. So, I try to get stuff in here, but not only do I put stuff in here, okay, but the members post stuff in here as well, too. So every day there's a ton of New York Giants information going in here every day. All right. And then also the second Facebook link takes you to my Facebook page. Okay. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's a page. What do we have? We have over 1,200 people who like it. We have over 4,700 people who are following it. Okay. I'll tell you what, it's really, really doing good. And it's the same thing here. Okay, it's 7 days a week. I'm putting a ton of stuff in there every day, 7 days a week. I said the same thing. Whether it's a post, a picture, a video, something making fun of the Eagles or Cowboys or whatever, And I really don't commingle them, right? So basically, for the most part, whatever I put in the page, I don't put on in the group. Whatever I put in the group, I don't put in the page, right? For the most part, I really just try to keep them separate. So if you go to the page and you like it and you follow and you go to the group and you become a member, you get a ton of New York Giants information every day. It's 7 days a week, right? And I say all the time in every video, right? Okay. If you go to the group and become a member and you go to the page, okay, and you like and you follow it and you're not 100% satisfied, you get your money back, guaranteed. Right? All right, with all that stuff said and done, out of the way with, we got. All right. Well, it looks like the legacy uniforms, which worked out pretty well for the Giants last year. They're coming back. It's nice to know that at least they well, I mean, the second game was at the 2020 tie against the Commanders. Almost won it. I mean, Graham Gano, I think that was like, if I remember, that was his kick, which fell just a little short, was like dead on. I mean, it looked like we had it, and then it landed, and then because you're looking at the shot behind that goalpost, and kind of it looks good, it's good, and then it lands, and it's like, then you're like, did it reach the goalpost or not? Then you see the refs kind of go like this and say, okay, it didn't go, it wasn't long enough, but it wasn't as, you got to get those up. I mean, you don't want to try to line drive them. You line drive them, you drive it into the pile, into the line of scrimmage there. Somebody knocks it down. Maybe some picks it up, runs it back the other way. So he's got to get it up. That's the problem, getting it up. And sometimes you get it up, and you're sacrificing length, right, to get it up. Now, quite possibly, he would have maybe enough if he just tried to drive it. But once again, you want to drive it, but you want to get it up enough so you get over the line of scrimmage. So you don't want nobody blocking it. So I mean, the last thing you want, right, is to have the ball, blocked, and somebody picks it up and runs it back for a touchdown. 1 second you're trying to kick to win the game, and the next second you're turning around looking at the other team running the ball back into the end zone for the game-winning score, right? So you got to try to get that happy medium. You want to try to get some strength into it with that, but not too low. You want to make it sure it goes over the line, and he was just a little short, but it was what it was. I mean, actually that game, if the Giants won, I don't think it would have mattered anyway. I guess in the scheme of things. So, but it was a good game. But at least they didn't lose. Okay. Says the Giants have announced the return of the legacy games this season, in which they will support the classic red, white, blue uniforms from the 80s and the 90s. Okay. No dates have been set as of yet. So, I mean, obviously, we're just halfway through May. We got a long way to go. But May, June, July, August. Man, guys, like 4 months. Actually, not even 4 months, and we'll have played our first game already. Freaking crazy, isn't it? Crazy. It says here, last season, the Giants had 2 legacy games, October 2nd versus the Bears, which turned out good, okay? And then, of course, the December 4th game against Washington. Now, you can't rule out those Commanders. I mean, the Commanders, I mean, we were not an offensive juggernaut last year against the Commanders, okay? So, of course, they beat the Bears 20-13, but then the Commander game was a 20-20 tie. The legacy uniforms have become a favorite among the Giants fans and players alike, and are likely to become a staple for the team moving forward, which is fine with me. I'm different, in one respect. I'm an old fart, as you can kind of tell, right? So my favorite uniforms, okay, are the ones they have on now, the little NY, right? Of course, those, the ones with the Giants on the side, those are, from when they, won their first 2 Super Bowls. So those were good times, really, good times. Obviously not when they first started wearing those Giants on the side, because that was 1976 and 76 and 77 and 78, right? So once we got into the 80s, the Giants on the side started becoming a little, right? But 1976, because 1975 they called it something like the disco helmet or something like that. They had a real funky uppercase NY on the side, which for 1 year. 74 they had the lowercase NY, and they were at the Yale Bowl. 75 they had they called that the disco. I don't know. They call it disco looking NY on the side. They had it for 1 year. That's when they were in Shea Stadium. Split the time with the home games with the Jets. In 1976, that's when they opened up Giant Stadium. Okay, that's when they got to the Giants on the side for the first time ever. Now, of course, that was not a banner year. The Giants wound up 3-11 that year. Of course, they started off 0-7 And after 0-7, their seventh loss, they lost 27 to nothing to the Pittsburgh Steelers at home. Bill Orange Parger with a P, not a B. Bill Orange Parger, their coach, got axed, and then we brought in John McVay, Sean McVay's uncle. Okay. So that we started 76 off 0-7. We finished the season 3-4 on a high note. So I tell you what, back in the 70s, if in a 7-game stretch you went 3 wins and 4 losses, that was like winning the Super Bowl. So we ended the season 3-4. So of course the whole season we were 3-11, which was really horrible. But we ended 3-4. So better times were looking to be ahead, and it didn't turn out to be that way because John McVay, after 2.5 seasons, he got fired too. He got fired after the 78 season. Of course, 78 season was the Miracle of the Meadowlands season. So then we brought in Perkins, right? And a couple of years later, he led us to our first playoff. Well, he did, but also some dude named Lawrence Taylor helped lead us to our first playoff appearance in 1981. But anyway, the legacy, I mean, they look cool. I mean, it's, a lot of the younger fans, like it. As I said, to me, the first time I ever watched the Giant game was in 1970. They had the little NY on the side. Fran Tarkenton was going under center. The blue helmets, the one red stripe, that big numerals on the front. You could see the numerals on the front of their helmets from about 3.5 miles away. They're just gigantic. If you ever see a helmet from 1970, New York Giants, I mean, the numbers on this just gigantic. I'm not sure why they were so big, but it's what they were. But I mean, those are my favorite uniforms of all time because that's what they wore when I was a kid growing up. But the legacy uniforms would be nice to see. I mean, hey, bring them back a couple times a year, absolutely. But it's also, hopefully let's, respect the past. Let's not start wearing the legacy uniforms and we get blown out 41-3 one game and lose 28-2 in another, or something like that. It's special uniform for a special time with a bunch of special players. Put those uniforms on, the helmets on, right? So we need to respect that. So, I mean, last year we were 1-0-1, so at least we didn't wind up losing. But I said, if losses happen, but let's make sure it's a special time. Let's make sure the guys realize what they're putting those helmets on for and everything like that, and realize that special players put those uniforms on. So. Right, we need a good performance out of the guys when they put those uniforms. I mean, of course, we need good performances every week, but it's like those uniforms mean something, right? So, thankfully, we didn't lose. I mean, nothing worse than going out there and winning one for the Gipper or something like that, or putting these uniforms on and you wind up getting blown out. That's a little embarrassing, but at least I guess they had 2 games last year with the legacy uniforms. I guess maybe another 2 games this year. Now the thing is, last year we had 9 home games. This year we only got 8, so it'll be interesting to see. But of course, as time goes by, they'll wind up coming out with the dates that they'll have the legacy uniforms on. But that's good news because I know a lot of people were looking forward to that. Then of course, we got. Saquon Barkley's agent, shoots down rumors of insane salary demands. She came on, Kimberly Miali, I think that's her name. It says Barkley and his camp reportedly remain firm on their $16 million asking price, which would make him the highest paid running back in the league alongside Christian McCaffrey. Barkley talked about not resetting the market, which led the Giant fans to think that he'd take a discount. That's funny. The Giants Wire repost with clear wording. Saquon reportedly rejected a New York Giants offer that would have paid him up to $14 million per season if you include added incentives. And then Kimberly Miali came on and said this is not true. So I'm not sure if she's talking about this is not true about wanting the $16 million, or is not true about him turning down $14 million. But I mean, they offered him. Let me see. Is it in this article here? Yeah, here we go. Okay. New York Giants running back Saquon Barkley remain at impasse despite both sides wanting to work out a long-term contract. Midway through last season, the Giants offered Saquon a deal worth about $12.5 million, and he rejected it. General Manager Joe Schoen promised to revisit negotiations early in the offseason and remain true to his word. Now, as I said, one thing for Schoen, and as I said, it's a business. I get it. It's up to Saquon if he wants to sign or not. But at least Schoen is true to his word. And he's not saying, he said, we want him here. But we also have a price, but it's also nice to know, we're going to revisit it, and it's true to his word. Right. So, I mean, whether he gets him signed to a long deal or not, at least I guess he's trying. It's just something you just don't know exactly what the exact figure that Saquon's looking for. It's either they gave me so much the annual per year, the APY. I mean, it's probably, he wants, the security. It's probably I'm not sure if it's the wording, or I'm sure the guaranteed money is probably pretty huge. And I'm thinking like around 60%, right? 60%. So let me get my trusty calculator out here. So just say, I mean, they give him, say, they offer him $13 million a year. Let's say times 4. So it's $52 million. All right, with incentives to possibly make it up to $14 million a year, which apparently, if that's true, was offered to him. He turned that down. So we got $52 million. All right, so we got 52 times 0.6. So basically, there would, if that was true, there, it's 60% guaranteed money. Would give him about $31 million guaranteed. Now, as I said, once again, he's guaranteed to make that. I mean, I'm just throwing a number out there. That 60% is guaranteed. He's guaranteed. I mean, he can certainly make more than that. I mean, if he stays healthy, right? I mean, but let's see what do we got here? Prior to placing the franchise tag on a superstar running back, Schoen offered Barkley and his camp a deal worth $13 million a year. And again, it was rejected. Then apparently, it says Bob Brookover of New NJ Advanced Media, not sure how he found this out, now reports that the Giants attempted to sweeten the pot, offering Barkley that $13 million deal, with $1 million in additional incentives, bringing the total possible contract to $14 million. And I'm not sure if, what the million, if it's, every time you're on the every time you're active or whatever, you will give you $50,000 per game. If you make the All Pro, Pro Bowl, will give you $100,000 or something. If you get 1,000 yards rushing, we'll give you $100,000. You're not exactly sure how it was, but now Bob Brookover is talking the truth here. That wouldn't have been too bad of a deal. But apparently it didn't move the needle. The Giants, according to sources, offered Barkley a multi-year deal, $12.5 million per season at the bye week. Then increased that number to $13 million with a chance to get to $14 million in incentives shortly after the season was over with. Barkley rejected both deals. He and his agent, Kim Miilion, obviously overestimated the running back market big time. I mean, they could argue that Barkley doesn't know his true value because he was blocked from testing the free agent market after the Giants used the franchise tag on him. But I mean, if the Giants offered him 13 or 14 million, I mean, is it, who's going to give him, somebody's going to give him $15 million out there? I mean, that would be just, I don't know. The way the market is, I think it's a tad high. It's a tad high. Barkley and his camp reportedly remained firm. I mean, this is all hearsay. But Kim Miilion is said this is not true. On their $16 million, which would make him the highest paid running back in the league alongside Christian McCaffrey. Now, he said he's now looking to reset the market. So resetting the market, would mean, McCaffrey's making 16, I want 17. Right? That would be resetting the market. Okay. So I guess, if McCaffrey's getting 16, he wants 16, he's not resetting the market. So I guess in one respect he's true. But they pretty much over or underestimated the market. I mean, quite a bit here. Let's see. The Giants have until July 17th to work out a long-term deal with Barkley, or he will be stuck playing on the franchise tender for $10.1 million, which is all guaranteed now. Okay, which is $3.9 million less than he would have potentially earned on the now rejected deal. Okay, but and then the thing is too is that you got to think is that if he play, it's all gamble. Obviously, it's all gamble. But I mean, if something would happen, if he signed the contract, okay, if he were to get hurt this year, right? At least he's got the contract, right? He's got guaranteed money, okay. But I mean, if he gets hurt this year, right? What's he going to get? Who's somebody going to pay him $15-16 million a season next year? No. I mean, if Sanders left the Eagles and he went to the Panthers and he's making like $6 million, right? I mean, I hope he don't. I hope Saquon stays healthy. I hope he stays healthy the rest of his career. But I mean, if he were to get injured, I mean, not only that, but look at it like this, right? Say he doesn't get injured. Say he stays healthy. All right, he becomes that bell cow, right? We give him whatever, 250 carries, right? Plus he gets another 50 receptions. That's another 300, not to mention the times he doesn't touch the ball when he has to maybe run out or maybe stay in pass protection and pass protect and block, right? But I mean, that's another, say, 250 carries, 50 receptions. That's another 300 touches times he's tackled and all that on his body, right? That's 300 more wear and tears on his body. That's going to, it takes its toll. It takes its toll after a while. This is what it was. You got 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. This is his sixth season, right? So I mean, he's gonna be a running back and going into his seventh season as a running back. He's going to want teams out there to pay him like $15-16 million a season. I mean, yeah. I mean, as I said, I hope they can work something out. I hope we can certainly sign him long term because however you look at it, he's a weapon. Weapon's a weapon is a weapon. But I also hope that Shane doesn't go, well, he's not happy. We'll give him 16. You know what I mean? But you have to meet in the middle someplace. I mean, that's the way usually negotiations work out. Saquon wants this. I'm not looking to reset the market. All right. So the market's at 16. I want 16. I'm not resetting it. I just want 16. Right. So if he wants 16, the Giants are offering him 12.5. And so you got to meet somewhere in the middle. I mean, if they can come up with four, they're going to dish out that much money to Sexy Dexy, right? And I get it. It's a different position and all that and everything. But if you can come up with that, when you're coming out $40 million a year for Daniel Jones and you're paying Sexy Dexy, and the salary caps are going to keep going up. I mean, I don't see why you can't come up with 13 or 14 for Saquon, right? And but it's got to be give and take, right? I mean, Saquon, he's not getting 16 from anybody. So, but hopefully we can get something done. But just kind of interesting that possibly he might have turned something down that would have paid him maybe $14 million with incentives. Okay, and then I seen this here. PFF has the Giants ranked in the bottom third. Whew, their roster ranks in the bottom third of the NFL. Holy cow. And they got And ultimately, PFF is taking the under on 7.5 wins this season and believes the Giants may finish in last place in the NFC East. Yes, even behind the Washington Commanders. And it says right here, Giants are due for some regression. They finished 9-7-1 despite being the fourth lowest graded team. Oh, yeah. I mean, PFF had no love whatsoever for the Giants. No love. Absolutely no love whatsoever. I mean, the Giants were like 9-7. The Giants were like certain categories rated like number 28 and 20, or like the overall team grade. They were rated like number 29, whatever, 28, 29 last year. And they had teams who were like, man, if I could pull this up here real fast. Oh my God, it was almost comical. I mean, some of the teams that they had rated in front of the Giants last year was just okay. Here we go. We got this here. Let's see here. The NFL last season, 2022 by team. Let's see if it's a pop up. Okay, here we go. Right, here we go. The overall team grade. Okay. The Eagles were number 1 at 93.7. The Giants' overall team grade was number 29. Let's see. The Giants were, with their playoff victories and all, they were 10-8-1. Okay. They had the Denver Broncos, who were 5-12. Okay. Right. The Giants were 68.6. They had the Denver Broncos who couldn't score a point at 75.9. Denver Broncos were 5-12. Giants were 10-8. Okay. They had the Giants a little bit above the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona Cardinals were 4-13. Okay. And the Giants had a couple more rated just above the Arizona Cardinals. Who else we have up here? I mean, they had the Raiders up here. Raiders were 6-11. The Raiders were graded out at a 79. The Giants were a 68. The Tennessee Titans, who we beat, they had the Tennessee Titans who were 7-10, were graded out almost in the 80. The Giants were graded out at a 68. I love this one here. I mean, this is just unbelievable. Oh, well, you got there you go. They got the Atlanta Falcons. Okay, the Atlanta Falcons were 7-10. They had them graded as the 8th best team overall team grade. The Atlanta Falcons were 7-10. They graded their team grade at 85.6. The Giants were 68. The Giants were 10-8-1. The and the Giants were 29. They had the Falcons 21 teams ahead of the Giants. PFF. They had them like 18 points higher than the 17 points higher than the Giants. 17 points higher than the Giants. They had the Atlanta Falcons, who had a losing record. They graded them number 8 overall. They had the Los Angeles Rams, who were 5-12. They had the Giants at number 29. The Los Angeles Rams, who are 5-12, had them at number 17. They had the Rams graded at an 80, okay? And the Giants were at a 68.6. So the Giants were 10-8-1, were about 11 points lower than the Los Angeles Rams were, who are 5-12, okay? I mean, they went to the playoffs. We were 9-7-1, right? I mean, just some of this stuff I can't even talk. Some of this stuff. They had the Indianapolis Colts, who were 4-12-1, who we beat the living crap out of. Okay, 75,000-2. All right, they got the Indianapolis Colts graded number 27. The Indianapolis Colts were 4-12-1. Absolute freaking pathetic. Well, they're horribly coached too, right? But they were 4-12-1. They graded out at a 74.1. Okay, the Giants graded out at a 68.6. So they had the Indianapolis Colts about 5.5 points higher than the Giants as a team grade. I mean, they had no love no love whatsoever for the Giants. I mean, absolute unbelievable. I can't, I mean, what I do is at the end of each, after each game is over, right? I'll go and like after the game's over, I'll go. That usually if the game's on Sunday, Monday I'll put the player and a team grade. So I'll go to PFF, right? And I'll go and I'll see, what each player did, what their grades were, and then I'll go to the big board and I'll see where the Giants team ranks compared to all the other teams. And as the season, I mean, the Giants were 7-2 at one point, and they were still ranked down like number 25 and 20. I mean, I'm like, what? I mean, we were like number. What's up, Terrence? Daniel Jones and the Giants are hated by them. Oh yeah, I get no love whatsoever. I mean, so you can also tell too what the team, what the like CBS and PFF and all that, what they think of this Giants roster, because they'll have their mock drafts coming out for next season. They'll have like the 2024 mock draft coming out, and you go there and you look and you're like, oh my God, where did you? And it's like, why do they have the Giants picking number 8? You know what I mean? Now they think the Giants are going to stink, plain and simple, right? That's the way it was. I think it was last year, right? I think after the Judge debacle, right? After that season was over, or you look, or you see where or going into the Judge last season, right? His second season, right? Just before the season started, they were having mock drafts for the upcoming draft, and they had the Giants drafting in like the top 10, because they don't think highly of them. So if you look and you see what the mock drafts are, maybe I can do a video on that. And I can start maybe looking at some mock drafts all, but that just goes to show you. I think Vegas has the Giants at 8.5 wins. PFF has the Giants at 7.5 wins. So according to them, they're going to make them take a step back. I mean, I have a hard time believing, I mean, if we look, where the heck are we at? I got 3,000 tabs over there. I mean, we're not, yeah. I know PFF ranked the Giants wide receiver group pretty low because we don't have that stud. Okay, we don't have the DeVonta Smith and the AJ Brown. We don't have the ABCD Lamb. Okay, we don't have the Waddle. Okay, and Tyreek Hill. Okay, we don't got Jamar Chase. We don't have that. Okay, if we did have that, I'm sure we'd be ranked a lot higher. But I know PFF has the Giants wide receiver group ranked pretty low. Because we got a lot of guys. As I said, Hyatt could be good. Hodgins, we know Hodgins, but apparently they're not very high on Hodgins, I guess. Colin Johnson's coming back. We got Sills and Dre Miller, but Darius Slayton, I guess they're not very high on him. Sterling Shepard, he's injured. Jeff Smith, he'll probably be special teams. Bryce Ford Wheaton, he's needs to be polished up a little bit. Paris Campbell, okay, and I got Wan'Dale Robinson, Jamison Crowder, Khalil Pimpleton, Jaden Mickens, so apparently they're not very high on the Giants wide receiver group. Now I can understand that because we don't have a true dog out there. We got a lot of guys that they're going to scheme, hopefully open, right? You're not going to have a lot of guys out there, guys like a Brown, AJ Brown, who I don't know, watching time after time, Jalen Hurts just drops back to pass, just throws the ball down in that direction. Could be 37 guys on Brown, but he just comes down with the ball, right? So we don't really seem to have a guy like like that, right? So I know they're not really high on our wide receiver group, but if you look at our offensive line, right? Then we got Michael Schmitz, Evan Neal, who had, I guess, maybe because he had a rough season there, I guess they're not that high on him. Hopefully this year we'll start turning things around a little bit. But now we got ourselves a true center We got, Andrew Thomas. Okay. You can't really say much about Azudu, McKeithen. You get Bredesen, okay, but Lemieux, because those guys were all banged up. So I guess our offensive line is probably in the back end of the first half as far as, even though we have Andrew Thomas, right? But, you got to look at our tight ends, right? Bellinger's a solid now. If we didn't have Waller, right, they certainly would have our tight end group, PFF with our tight end group, obviously, in the back half because, Bellinger's a nice tight end, but, he's not, he's not a difference. He's a nice tight end, but, if you got, Myrick, Bellinger, Lawrence Cager and then Tommy Sweeney, that's not but we got Waller. Okay, so now our tight end group has got to be in at least the top half. If you got Waller, come on. Now, I guess once again, that maybe there's no love for Daniel Jones. He only had 15 touchdown passes. He cut his turnovers way down. I guess maybe there's still no love for Daniel Jones. I guess. We got Saquon, right? Saquon's, he's in the, however you want to look at it, he's a top 10 running back, right? But I guess maybe with our offensive line, Evan Neal struggled, right? Michael Schmitz is going to come in, hopefully do some production, but he's still a little unknown commodity. We got Andrew Thomas, right? So, and I said, I know they don't like our wide receiver group, but if you look at the defense, right? If you got defensive tackles or the inside, right? Interior defensive line. Now with Nunez, Roaches, Robinson, right? Sexy Dexy, right? Leo the Lion. Right? Then we didn't get a ton of production. If Azeez was healthy all year long, we would, I can't say maybe a ton, but we would have got, I think we had like 14 and a half sacks, I think, from our edge rushers, right? But, if Azeez was able to play all season long, maybe he can this year, certainly would have had quite a few more because, sometimes he just looked like he was shot out of a cannon, sometimes coming around the edge there and all and everything. And maybe this year, right? Maybe one time this year, I've seen Micah Parsons run and of course, the defense, the offensive tackles, he coming around the edge, right? So the offensive tackles got him like a chokehold, right? Like that to try to prevent him, And of course, the ref sees, oh my God, it's Micah Parsons. Oh, that's a 30-yard penalty there because that's on Micah Parsons. Oh my God. But how many times did I see that last year? Kayvon coming around the edge and you got the offensive tackle choke holding him. And I was like, that looks good to me. I don't see no foul. I don't see any foul there. Oh, maybe this year, maybe Kayvon will get a couple holds, holding, next time the offensive tackle's choking his head off. Maybe we'll get a call or so our way, huh? Right? But our edge rushers aren't the two of them. They're not in the back end of the first half, right? Our interior defensive line. Now we did add Banks, right? So now we got two decent cornerbacks, right? Some of the other guys are a little, suspect. We our safeties, we got Xavier there. But number 23 overall. But what that does tell me, which I am kind of impressed about, okay, is that what that shows you is that if you don't have maybe the best of the best as far as talent, okay, but the coaching, right? So that goes to show you, that's good, okay, because the players are going to come and go. Coaches, if our offense does decently, Kafka sooner or later is probably going to be gone. If the defense continues to do really, really well, right, Wink might be gone somewhere along the line, right? But that just goes to show you, if you got, mediocre talent. A lot of it was also we had injuries. So you're bringing guys in left and right here, right? Trying to get them up to speed, within a game or two, right, without getting blown out. So that goes, maybe we got maybe we have the good coaching staff, right? So that's something. If we can keep, Dable there, right? And as I said, for at least this season, we know we got Kafka and Martindale, right? So that goes to show you some good coaching, right? So we don't necessarily need to have the best of the best of the best of everybody to be successful, right? And hopefully as time goes by, right, we'll keep adding little pieces to the puzzle here, a little more and more and more pieces, right? And also keeping some guys, hopefully Saquon and, Daniel Jones, Andrew Thomas, Evan Neal, keep building around those core players, right? Hopefully Azeez can stay healthy, right? We get Kayvon, right? Xavier, hopefully we do something with Xavier. Got Deonte Banks, and just keep bringing in these really good core players, keeping them, and just keep adding more and more pieces. Hopefully, we'll get better as time goes by. But that's it. That goes to show you, because even though PFF may not so much like the players and all of that, what we're doing just enough to win football games, which might go to show you, well, at least we might have the right coaching staff here. But man, I mean, number 23 overall. And I just knew it was last year. I said, because every time I did a video after each game last year, it was just comical. It's like the Giants in 7-2. How come their PFF has them like the number 25th team overall? It's like they had no love whatsoever. No love whatsoever for the Giants. But it is what it is. Well, guys, it's been 41 minutes. Terrence, thank you, buddy. Good talking to you, man. Good talking to you. Well, whoever spent any time at all watching me live, I greatly, greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. Or if anybody spends any time at all watching the replay this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I greatly appreciate it. I can use all the support I can get, guys. Thank you. And as always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.